Hi, I am so bad at introductions, but it's me, Amanda, and I am back with another video featuring half my face because I have this big, huge apparatus like I'm fucking Bane. But my audio is fire though, right? I am working on getting another microphone because it's not gonna work, right? Like, I gotta just be like here talking to y'all. But my audio though. So today I wanted to do a tier list. Are we still doing those? If not, I'm bringing it back. They're cool again. They're in now again. I wanted to do a tier list of all my childhood crushes because I was a weird kid. I'm like gonna be open and honest about things that I never thought I was gonna talk about in my life. I feel as though it will be a fun chance to psychoanalyze me. Also, I'm almost like reaching out for solidarity at this point. A lot of them are like, you'll probably relate, but there's definitely a few in there that are like really like they stick out amongst the crowd. So I feel like it'll afford us a good opportunity to really dissect that. And also reminisce and a lot of nostalgia, growing up. Just want to know why I'm like this, basically. So let's dive in. Okay, so as you can see, the situation is pretty complicated. You're getting like a sneak peek, and I can explain some of these. So yeah, the tiers that we've got going on here, we've got still crushing, of course, that's S tier. That is like, I stand by that shit. Not only do I stand by it, but like I'm actively crushing on this person or whatever. I mean, it's not just limited to people as we see here, but I can explain. Anyway, then we've got the stand by it tier, which is like, again, I'm not like ashamed, okay? I stand by what I said because I have my reasons. And then we've got oof, but at the time though, because like I was a child and like I had my reasons, I feel like I can explain most of these. I hope. And then we've got just like LOL, which is just like, wow, yeah, LOL. Like that's like a this. And then what is that, F tier? Is that what that is? That is like straight up was gonna take this to my grave, but here we are. That's like a double. That's like a please never don't see my face. Like, so we'll see if there's any of those. But yeah, I guess I should just kind of get started with all this because I have a lot of explaining to do, as you can clearly see. And since I'm wearing the Kigurumi, I ought to just start with Mewtwo. So yeah, Mewtwo's on this list. Mewtwo is a childhood crush of mine. Mewtwo, the Pokemon. Normally, I am 100% against crushing on Pokemon. I think it's gross. Like, I have this story where I went on 4chan one time just to see what I would come across, and there was a list of horrifying things that I saw like in the first 20 minutes. And one of those horrifying things was like a thread of people lusting for Pokemon, and I was like I wanted to jump into a volcano upon seeing that. However, I feel like Mewtwo out of all the Pokemon is the most acceptable to have a crush on because he is very humanoid. He's extremely sentient to the point where he's literally like this man is a philosopher. And he's not a man, he's a Pokemon. I get it. Like he knows what he's doing, you know? That's the problem that I have with Pokemon being lusted over or being crushed on is like they're animals. They're not like, their brains are like animalistic. But Mewtwo is different. He's different, okay? He's not like the other Pokemon. He's got like he can talk. Okay, he can talk in sentences. And that doesn't make it okay with Meowth and shit, but like for Mewtwo, I just feel like, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying, right? Like when I first saw Pokemon the first movie, I was so taken by his plight that I really did not care that Ash died. Like I was kind of like, you know what, Mewtwo, I fucking agree with you, buddy. I really am on your side with this. Like I started to really see it from his point of view. He makes a good case. He's a good like negotiator. Just kidding. He did not try to negotiate with anyone. He was like destroy all humans, point blank, end of story, period. And I supported him on that. I just feel like he really was justified because he's like literally wakes up in a tank and he's like, I exist now? What the hell? I didn't consent to this. Why did you bring me here? What is this? And the scientists are so mean. They look at him, they're like, hey, yeah, we totally made you so that we could fucking use you. Mewtwo did nothing wrong, basically. Okay? Seriously. And then at the end, he understands and he can sympathize.
A human sacrificed himself To save the Pokémon. I pitted them against each other, but not until they set aside their differences did I see the true power they all shared deep inside. I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
I love Mewtwo, I really do. No longer crushing on him for sure, because he is a Pokemon, whether I like it or not. But I think that he has a beautiful mind, and I really do stand by it with Mewtwo, because I can like explain why he captivated me. But again, I could write an entire dissertation on why Mewtwo, out of all the Pokemon, is like the only one that is acceptable to crush on. Because again, he's very sentient to the point where he's actually smarter than us. Whereas even with like, and usually that's the thing. Usually I'm honestly one of those people who is against humanoid Pokemon. Like I'm straight up against them. If Jinx and Mr. Mime can disappear tomorrow, I wouldn't even notice. Yeah, Jinx, Mr. Mime, there's probably like a million other ones, but I do not pay. Nose Pass. I'll put Nose Pass in that. I know he's like an Easter Island statue, but I don't like Nose Pass. I go to Pokemon to escape from humans, okay? I don't want to encounter humans I don't want to encounter humanoids. Don't like the humanoids. But they're still like, they're not very sentient either. I could go on and on, but yeah, Mewtwo, that's my Mewtwo thing. Who's next? Let's make it easy. Obviously we got Harrison Ford here. I was like 5 watching Star Wars and I was like, Han Solo though, what's up with that? Why is he making me feel this way? And then Indiana Jones comes next and I'm like, I don't need to explain why Harrison Ford is on this list. He makes me feel normal. He's on this list because I really do want to feel normal and relate to people, okay? So I have a crush on Harrison Ford too. I had normal crushes too when I was growing up, okay, people? All right, we're going to take it all the way back. This is one of the first crushes I ever remember having, and I was in love. I was in love with Steve. Steve from Blue's Clues. I just thought he had it all. He had his shit together. I really felt that. I felt he had the life that I wanted to live someday. You know, like he had a dog, he had salt and pepper shakers that talked to him. He was always up to something. He was always getting mail. Like all I ever wanted as a kid was to get mail. Whenever my mom would get the mail, I'd be like, "Is there anything for me?" And she's like, "No. Why? Are you expecting something?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just want mail." She's like, "No, you don't." You know how your parents are always like, "No, you don't. It's all bills." And I'm like, "I don't even care if it's bills. I just want some mail." Because as a kid, that's like, you see Steve, he is opening so many, he gets every day he gets letters from his friends. And like, that's all I wanted in life was a dog that I could communicate with, talking inanimate objects around the house and mail. You know, Steve to me was like goals. He had it all. He was wearing green. That's my favorite color. And he was nice to Blue, the dog. And I love him. And I thought he was so cool. Not really interested anymore, but I really do stand by it. I think that Steve was, and still is, just a great guy. Okay, before I get into some of these, I want you to know who I was as a child. And maybe you can relate. I hope you can. I didn't have any friends at school that could. So I feel as though I was very alone in this, but I don't think I was. I wanted to be an animal. I didn't want to be a person ever. In any game that I played, I wanted to be a non-human animal. And so whenever I was playing a game with somebody, like if we played house, I wanted to be the dog. You know, like I wanted to be not a human being, to the point where I was like, can I be like the Easter bunny or something and come on Easter? Like, I don't want to be a person. I don't want to play house. I don't want to be the mom. I don't want to be the sister. I want to be the local fucking population of frogs. I don't care. I just don't want to be a person. I was so bored of humans. So I did want to be like an animal at all times. I was that girl that was galloping at recess, that was on her hands and knees fucking trying to eat grass and shit, like neighing, meowing in class. Like I really was. I was not cool or popular ever. I got hot long after school ended, and it's just a coincidence, honestly. I never played with baby dolls, never played with Barbies. I was already a human. Why would I want to play human? Why would I want to play a mockery of being a human being when I am living in my human shell and I'm hating it? That's not a game to me. On any given day, I was a deer, I was a horse, I was a dinosaur, I was not a person. I wanted to be on all fours, galloping. And so when I was crushing on these animals, I was also an animal. Like I wanted to be their animal companion. Okay, so let's just make that very clear. going forward. Whenever my cousin was always like, can we play like I have a husband and stuff and like I'm having babies. Like my cousin was like a very normal child. She wanted to play human beings. And I was always like, yeah, but I'm going to be a ferret and I'm going to have a ferret husband and ferret children, if that's okay. And she's like, you know what? Fine, I guess, for sure. And I'm like, I'm your ferret neighbor. And I do have like a ferret family and it's fine. When I saw Spirit in the theaters, I was interested in Spirit because he had Matt Damon's voice. He was beautiful. He's a beautiful horse, obviously. And as a horse at that moment, like watching the movie, I was a horse. I wanted to be a horse. And I was like, if I was in that herd as a horse, I would be interested in him. I would have a crush on him. I would ask him out, maybe. I'll say oof, but at the time though, that's what I'll say, because nowadays, I have accepted the fact that I'm a human. I'm always going to be a human. I'm no longer crushing on animals at all, but I understand. And at the time when I was a horse in that theater, I can understand. I know why I had a crush on Spirit. He had Matt Damon's voice and he was really cool. He was like the leader of the herd. You could not tame him. Him and Little Creek together, like name a better fucking dynamic duo than them. When they jump over the thing, I was like, that's my boyfriend. But I loved him and Rain together. I think I just wanted to be Rain. I have this very vivid memory. So if you haven't already seen Spirit, like I'm going to spoil like a part of it, but you should have already seen it. I feel no sympathy towards you. I'm going to spoil it. So Rain is my girl. I wanted to be Rain. Like sometimes I don't like their partner and I want to replace them. And other times I support the relationship 100% and I like just want to be her. So in that case, I loved Rain. I wanted to be her. She was just like that cool paint bitch and I loved her and she was beautiful. And the part where you think she dies, she like does a fake out die where she dies. I walked out of the theater and my mom had to come get me. I was like so young and I was like, I'm leaving. I was like, I'm done with this fucking film. I don't like this. I've seen enough. Like, I hated that. I was like, no, no, I cannot support that fucking decision. I don't like that. Plot beat, I'm leaving. And I fucking walked out and my mom had to come get me and be like, can you just finish the movie? We don't know if she's dead. I'm like, she's dead. She died. And when she came back to life, I was actually so embarrassed. Like my mom looked at me and she's like, and I'm like, yay, Rain's alive, but also fuck. Like, thank you. I didn't want to admit that I was like thankful that she like pulled me back into the theater. But yeah, I loved Spirit. I wanted to be Rain. I really loved them together. I felt that movie so hard. Like the Wild West and he's galloping over like the plains and Bryan Adams is singing, swelling in the background. I felt that so hard. I really did. Okay, Jason right here, the Red Ranger. Let's talk about him for a second. That might have been my first crush, actually, before Steve even. One of my first memories ever is that I had a like life size. It wasn't life size. I always called it a life size. It was like this tall. So obviously Jason in real life was not this tall, but like it was a tall, like Jason the Red Ranger, like thing. Where did my parents get? It was like this big. It was like 4 feet tall. And like, what do you even do with that? Also, why did they make that product? Like, I would just like lug him around, but I would have him like over my shoulder. Like, but you can't play anything with him. But I would honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you, he was my boyfriend, and I was like a new Green Ranger because my favorite color was green, and there was already a Green Ranger, but like I wanted to be the light Green Ranger, so like I joined the Power Rangers and Jason was there standing next to me and he was like my height at the time. So I could really like look into his eyes. Jason was my boy. Like he was just, I was obsessed with him. My parents got me everything of Jason. He was the T-Rex. It's morphin' time! Tyrannosaurus! Like he was a T-Rex morph. I don't even remember what, it was like the thing that they like put on their mask and like they turn into a it was like a robot. I don't know. But yeah, he was a T-Rex and he was a good guy. And I stand by that. I think that I'm justified in having a crush on Dodger because A, when he sings, Why Should I Worry? First of all, that's like such a cool song. Second of all, it's Billy Joel. Like I stood no chance. He was just so cool. I love a bad boy. You will come to find that a bad boy is going to basically do it every time for me. I wanted to be a dog in New York City that captivated him, that stole his heart, that made him stop in his tracks and give up his life of crime. I think I'm going to stand by a lot of these, but but at the time though, for sure. Because again, that is a dog. That is a dog and that's an oof for me. But at the time though, yeah. Who's next? Oh my God, this one's so funny. Okay, so It's not the mummy, it's the boy. You know, there are Disney Channel movies that we all know and love and remember. And then there are Disney Channel movies that like we don't, that like, you know, because there was so many. There's a lot that just kind of flew under the radar. And I think this is one of them. It's called Under Wraps. And it's about these kids. I don't even really I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't remember how they got the mummy. But at some point, they acquire a mummy. They find a mummy, and he comes to life. And he's a friendly mummy. He's nice, but he is like a corpse. He's a dead person mummy. And there's like people trying to like get the mummy back or like pursue them in some way. There's like a conflict. The boy's name, that boy in that picture, his name is Marshall. I remember that. I did not even get to watch this movie before I did this. I probably should have, because that's what like a good YouTuber would do. But I haven't seen this movie since I was 10. I don't even know. I just remember Marshall. Then there's like this dweeb kid. I think his name's Gilbert. And then there was like this cool girl, you know, and there was like the three friends, and they have to help like smuggle this mummy and like hide the mummy and like try to like, they want to keep, I think they want to keep the mummy as a pet or something. And I just, for some reason, like latched on to this Marshall kid. I don't even know why. I think he had like a very tender heart because he really loved that mummy. And I think that I really fell for that. I think that I just loved his heart and his like conviction to this mummy. And I think I loved the fact that he loved the mummy because I loved the mummy, and I'm a fan of mummies. I think I was like really relating to him. Like I would have done all the same things. I would have made all the same choices as Marshall. And so the reason that is so notable, I started just writing a story about how I was in Under Wraps with Marshall, and I was in their group, and then me and Marshall fell in love, and we were friends with the mummy, and we were all friends and like had a great Halloween. And that was like the first fanfic that I ever wrote. But it wasn't like a purposeful fanfic because I didn't know what fanfic was. Like I was so fucking young. I like wrote it down on the paper. I was like, me and Marshall found a mummy today, period. We were so scared, exclamation point. But he was nice. Like, you know, it was like something so simple, but it was my first fanfic. I did write an Under Wraps fanfic. I think it's LOL, honestly. I just don't really care. I love mummies, but like the mummy in question, he seems kind of cringy. He's like a very like stereotypical mummy. I want like a scary mummy. And he's just like a goofy mummy. So it's just a LOL for me, honestly. Okay, who's next? How about Aladar, the fucking iguanodon? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about why that's on the list. So, you know how I wanted to always be an animal? I was a dinosaur kid. You know the dinosaur kids? That was me. I was like deeply passionate about dinosaurs, to the point where one of my first ever panic attacks that I can remember having, where I was having a fucking existential crisis, a meltdown. My parents could not console me. I was in my parents' room and the walls were spinning. Like I still have this memory. I was losing my grip on reality, and my parents had to try to calm me down, even though there was nothing that they could say that would ever make it better, because the crisis in my life was that I loved dinosaurs so much, but they were all extinct and I could never work with them. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to work with dinosaurs. I don't want to work with any other animal. I want dinosaurs, and they're gone. And I don't know how to deal with that. I don't think I can accept it. And I was freaking, I was like, do you think there's any in the rainforest? Like if I look hard enough. And my parents were like, yeah, I bet you'll find them for sure. Like by the time you get old enough, like technology and stuff, I bet you'll bring them back. I bet they'll all be cloned. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I can't live in the world without dinosaurs. Like I was inconsolable about this. I loved dinosaurs, and I still to this day love them. But I was that kid. I knew all of them. I had all the books and shit, and I was always just like, what's your favorite dinosaur? Mine is Parasaurolophus. And people were like, what are you talking about? T-Rex? Is that one? Like, I was always a dinosaur at recess. I was always making dinosaur sounds that were jarring and alarming and very uninviting to the other children. And the first time I ever saw the trailer for Disney's Dinosaur, I wonder if you even remember it or saw it at all. The trailer was a fucking masterpiece. And I feel like, oh God, when did that come out? Like I think it was when I was watching Tarzan or something. Like I saw this trailer and I was weeping. And my mom had to like support me through that. My mom remembers when I first saw, like, Mom, if you're watching this, you know, it was hard for me to process what that felt like, because to me, I had never seen dinosaurs so vividly brought to life. That was exciting for me because I was such a cheesy kid. Like I wanted to see dinosaurs brought to life so bad. That meant so much to me because I was so devastated that they were extinct. And so when I saw that Disney was making a dinosaur movie and it was like 3D animated, and at the time, like that trailer, it was the trailer where the egg and like all of these different, like it gets like picked up by a pterodon and it gets like put in a river and like falls off a mountain and like an oviraptor picks it up and brings it, and there's like, it travels all the way to the lemur island, which, that part cringes me out so bad when like all the lemurs are, I'm sorry, I'm cringing. So, like, all the lemurs are swinging on the tree and it's like their mating ritual. And that stupid lemur that is his brother doesn't get picked. And you're supposed to feel bad for him, but you're just like, because you knew he wasn't going to get picked. Because look at the guy. All the other lemurs are hot. And then this guy's like greasy. Like, how did he get greasy? Why aren't all the, it's so cringy because it's supposed to be like so beautiful, but it's cringy. Aladar was this iguanodon. He was like this cool dude. And I just wanted a whole life with him. I was like, okay, now I have like a boyfriend dinosaur that I can really envision, because at the time I was just, I don't know, I couldn't really envision a good boyfriend dinosaur. And so I finally got like a good boyfriend dinosaur, and I didn't connect with the girl dinosaur in that movie. I don't even fucking remember what her name is. She's just forgettable, to be honest. She just wasn't right for him, I think. I think I would have been right for him as an iguanodon. So I made up my own like iguanodon OC and I wanted him to be my dinosaur boyfriend. But like also, I don't think he's on the same level as Dodger and Spirit because it is a cringy movie for the most part. You know what? He's just staring us right in the face. So I guess we should probably address this, especially because maybe people don't know if I'm talking about Kirk or Olmec from Legends of the Hidden Temple. If you've never seen it, like I'm just like really sorry that you didn't get to live through that. I really am. Honestly, I feel really bad for you. Legends of the Hidden Temple was this game show that was on Nickelodeon where, I mean, how do you even begin to describe it? It was like kids, and I always wanted to be on the Green Monkeys so bad. I wanted to be on that show so bad. I could have won. I could have won it, but I didn't know how to do it. I would ask my mom too. I'd be like, can you figure out how to get me on that show? And she'd be like, you'd be great at that. And I'm like, I know. Can you actually, I'm not even kidding. And she's like, nah, we have to fly and stuff. And I'm like, because I would have won. I really would have won for sure. But it was this game show where kids would answer trivia questions about like random ass like ancient civilizations and world history. So they would answer trivia questions and then they would like do obstacles and obstacle courses and shit. But then the last round would be going through the temple. And you would have to go through, and there was these like temple guards, and they were so scary, and they would like grab the children. Like this was back in the 90s where they could fucking grab kids and shit. And then they had to put together the monkey thing. What is that little monkey? The golden monkey shit. I don't even remember, but they had to put it together, and these kids were so. Talk about anxiety when you're watching these kids try to put that fucking monkey together. It is so easy, but they could never do it. They were always like, and like the music was playing, dun, dun, dun.
Silver monkey together. She got 30 seconds.
If you know, you know. If you don't, you're probably really confused. But it was just pinnacle, perfect, beautiful 90s. And the show's host was Kirk. And he was so cool. And the TV was kind of blurry, He's not a bad looking, he's not like ugly, but all I could see though was the fact that he would swing in on a rope every time. He was swinging on a rope like a fucking badass. That got me paying attention every time. It woke me right up. I was like, oh, who's this? Who's this adventurer swinging in on a rope? How cool is he? Swings in on a rope. He's got fucking cargo shorts on. He looks like he has had adventures in the past. He knew all this like ancient history. Olmec knew him, trusted him, talked to him, responded to him. Olmec was that rock man behind him who would talk and stuff. He was like a talking rock man who knew all these facts and he would ask you all the questions. But Kirk was like his buddy. And I was like, honestly, Kirk, like, what's up? I was watching clips the other day from Legend of the Hidden Temple, and the kids who would get eliminated first, y'all, I can't make this up. This was the 90s. They would get consolation prizes, but the consolation prizes, I couldn't even believe my eyes at some of these consolation prizes. One of the consolation prizes that the kids got in one of the clips I saw was tuna. I'm not kidding. They got tuna. They won tuna. It doesn't even say how much tuna. They're going to get like a year supply of tuna. If they're going to get like 10 cans of tuna. Like what is, it doesn't even specify what the tuna situation is. That's almost worse. Don't even give them a prize. And the kids have to act like they're happy. They're like if I was on that show and they go, you win tuna, I would have been like tuna fish, like the food in a can. Nick, Elodian, you all don't have the money to give these kids like a fucking t-shirt or something? Tuna? Yeah, that made me lose some respect for Kirk because at that moment he would always say, don't worry, you're going home with a great consolation prize. And then it would be fucking tuna. Like, Kirk, come on, buddy. He was swinging in on the thing. He knew all of the trivia, but he was also giving these kids tuna. And for that, I'm just going to laugh at you, Kirk. I'm sorry, buddy. That can't be forgiven. Jane is the perfect example of the girl that you're not sure if you want to be her or be with her, you know? Because when I first saw Tarzan, like everybody was tripping over Tarzan. I'm like, this man, I don't know, he's not wearing like enough clothes for me. Like something about Tarzan's face, they made him like, you know what I mean? He was like at the end of Son of Man, where he's like swinging on he's like going down the vine. He's like surfing on the vine, but then he like, it's like, dun, dun, and then you see his face and he's like, and he looks like so mean and unapproachable and his jagged and like, and I was like, okay, Tarzan, I see how it is. Like, I don't want to know you. I didn't want to know you anyway. Okay. Like, and I just, from at that moment, I don't know why he had to look at us like that. So Tarzan was off the table for me, but then Jane comes along and she's wearing the hat. So I'm just like, okay, cool. But then she like takes off the hat and she's like this cool wildlife girl who like just wants to learn. She like wants to be a different kind of woman than like the women in, because at the time that they were living in, like back in England and shit, it was whack for women. Like, you know, she had to be like, you know, but she wanted to be like this badass, like explorer bitch. She's like drawing birds and stuff. Like, she's like not afraid of gorillas. Like, that's my girl right there. And as soon as she took that hat off and like let her hair down and stuff, I was like, she's that type of girl. Like, you just want to sit there like this and like listen to her talk for hours. I love her. Yeah, still crushing on Jane for sure, always. And she stays with Tarzan in the end, the crazy bitch. Yeah, I love her, honestly. I think it's like staring us right in the face, and I ought to just like address the fact that Rudolph is on this list because he is. So yeah, that is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. When I was really little, I was and I still to this day love Rankin Bass Christmas movies so much. And Rudolph was probably one of my first ever favorite movies. I saw that movie and it like took over my life. It consumed me. Something about it. I mean, I was like 6 or 7, like 6 years old. And this movie consumed my every waking thought. I was always thinking about Rudolph. Just something about the formula of that movie. This reindeer was an underdog, you know, and he just spoke to me. And like, he was just something about him. I don't know, something about him, his tenacity, his struggles. I love a sad boy. And I think Rudolph was my original sad boy. I really do. He was my original, like, I love you, Rudolph. Nobody else does. Nobody else understands you, but I understand you and I love you. And I don't care what they think of us. I'll run away with you right now. You know, I don't think Clarice was doing enough. I really don't think she was. She didn't go on the adventure with him or nothing. I would have been gone with his ass. I would have chased his ass out of there to the island. I would have gone with him to the island of Misfit Toys. And I would have honestly been like, Rudolph, do you just want to like stay here? Like, I don't want to go back to Santa's village because Santa's a piece of shit. I was so angry for him. It awakened the activist in me. Like, I was so mad. I was ready to I was going to die for him. I really loved him. And then when he gets the antlers and stuff and he grows up, I'm like, this is a man I could love for the rest of my life. I loved him. I loved Rudolph. That was probably one of my first loves. Not going to lie. He is definitely a reindeer. He's not as cool as, like, he's Rudolph, you know? He's Rudolph. That's a 6-year-old thing. I'm going to say LOL, but I do think that he's a great guy. As far as Rankin Bass goes, though, I got older and I still was appreciative of those films. I was like, 6 or 7 when I was into the Rudolph thing. And then when I was like 8, 9, that's when I started looking at Kris Kringle because, y'all, Santa Claus is coming to town. Kris Kringle in that movie, he is so fine. I'm sorry, but he is so fine as a young man in that movie. And he's so, like, he walks into town, right? And he breaks the law in public, in the open. He's just breaking the law. He does not care. He doesn't give a fuck. I love a bad boy. In the movie, there's this town and it's like illegal to have toys there. And he goes into town with like a sack of toys and he's like, I do not give a fuck, okay, about your leader who doesn't like toys. I don't care. I don't know if you've met me yet, but I don't care. I will break the law. And like the local baddie, Jessica, she knows what's up. She's like the teacher. She's like a smoke show. And he like gives her a toy. He's like, I don't care. I don't care if they chase me. And they like chase him and he like jumps on the roofs and shit and goes down the chimneys. Like that's how he becomes Santa. He like loves animals. There's like this evil like snow ice king who lives in the forest. And he's like evil and he's magic. He's like a magic evil ice wizard and he's so scary. Like I remember as a kid being like, oh, he's gonna fucking die. Like, and Kris Kringle, he's such a badass. He's just like, can you even walk? Like, can you walk? And apparently the Snow King, I don't even remember what this guy, he's like a snow wizard. The Snow King can't walk or something. So this motherfucker, he teaches the guy how to walk and turns him good. He like tames all these animals. He like defeats the guy in the town that makes toys illegal. He is just a king, okay? And he like doesn't care. He's like the coolest guy ever. And when I was watching that movie, I was just like, this is Santa Claus? Really? Oh, okay. He's just like, I don't know why they made young Santa so damn hot, but they did. And so honestly, I mean, I watched that movie and I'm still like, Kris, what is up, buddy? I'm going to save some weird ones for the end because like we're getting basic, you know? We got like Zuko on this list. Like Zuko fucking obviously. The only reason I don't still have a crush on Zuko is because he's 16 and he's always going to be 16. I mean, I know he's not 16 in Korra, but like this Zuko in particular, I stand by it. He's a sad boy. I love a redemption arc. Like if I don't have a crush on the guy, if I don't like if it physically he does not appeal to me, and then I start to catch on that they're gonna do a redemption arc with this guy, I'm like, I can buy into this, yeah. But Zuko had it all because he was so bad. He was so bad, and I love a bad boy. And he's got like the scar and like the hair. And I just love a sad boy. I love a sad boy. He is the ultimate sad boy. His redemption arc. Beautiful. I could talk about Avatar all day. I'm like gonna stop myself because I'll just go on a tangent about Avatar. I really will. So let's just say that like Zuko has my heart forever. I would say still crushing, but he's, you know, he's like 16 in that picture. So I'm just gonna put him on stand by it. But you know, Zuko's my boy forever. Speaking of bad boys, we got Seto Kaiba here. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I have like hundreds of cards. I like literally love playing the card game. I used to have my mom bring me to the mall so that I could play in Pokemon competitions and shit. Like, I'm not Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm serious. Like, I will play you and probably win. I'm not even kidding. Anyway, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is my shit. Me and my brother used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! And I would be, like, rooting for Kaiba. He was not a good person. He's a piece of shit. He really is. Watching the anime again, first of all, cringy, pretty cringy shit. Like I was just watching it not too long ago and I was like, ooh, Kaiba's a piece of shit for sure. He's not a nice guy, but something about he's just so confident. He's got all the blue eyes, white dragon. The fact, like the first episode, he takes Grandpa's blue eyes, white dragon and he already had two. He just wanted them all. That flex, he just wanted to own all of them so that no one else would have any blue eyes, white dragon. And that move right there, like I had to respect it. I had to be like, I'm listening, Kaiba. If this is how you operate, like I'm just attracted to that apparently. So Kaiba has always been my boy. Yeah, I stand by Kaiba. I'll always stand by Kaiba. Future Trunks, since he's here, let's just talk about Future Trunks for a second. So I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan. Future Trunks is my favorite character by far. And when I will never forget because I watched it like in real time, I feel like. Every day after school, watching this shit. And when Future Trunks first shows up, and you're like, who's this? Who's this? Who's he? He comes down. He's got a fucking sword, purple hair, this cool jacket. He's from the future. I'm sorry, what? And he's like here to save us. He's like aloof. He's mysterious. Who is he? It's just a whole thing. And like Future Trunks has been through shit. And then you realize like nobody else has ever been through anything. You know, like they think that death is just willy-nilly. They'll just get the Dragon Balls. They'll just fix it. It's fine, blah, blah, blah. I just feel like once Future Trunks came on the scene, he put so much into perspective. You know, I looked at Goku and I'm like, what are you doing? Grow the fuck up. Like, I started like losing respect for Goku and shit because Future Trunks had actually been, basically, he came from the future because the whole fucking planet gets destroyed. And he knows how and why and who did it. So he comes back to the past to help them not fuck up because they were gonna. And he was like, you know what? The future sucks. So I'm here to help y'all get your shit together because we're about to get rocked. Okay. I love him. He's my sad boy. I love him. I still have a crush on Future Trunks. It's about time for another baddie. Let's talk about Chell from Road to El Dorado. I hope everybody's seen that movie. The Road to El Dorado. Is that what it's called? Yeah. One of the gems of my childhood. And this bitch, she fucked my life up. Chell ruined my life, I think. I don't think I was ready for a bad bitch of her magnitude when I watched this movie. Like, basically, if you haven't seen it, it's about these two guys and they're like from Spain and they are scammers and like they steal shit and they like cheat in like gambling and stuff. You know, they're just like scumbags. And they get caught by literally like the conquistadors, I think, or something. I don't remember how they end up with the conquistadors somehow. And then they escape them, but like they're on an island or something. Basically, they end up at El Dorado, which is like the city of gold, but it's like these Aztec people. It's like a Aztec community, but it's also a golden city or whatever. I don't know. And she's like one of the Aztec baddies. The two guys, they're like bumbling idiots, you know? And then they like cross paths with Chell and she helps them scam her own people into thinking that they're gods so that they're being worshipped, and like Chell's in on it because she wants to go with them and get the hell out of there and steal all this gold. Like she's like scamming the scammers. Like she's like playing them too. And she's just like such a baddie. Like they had no right to draw her the way that they did. I had nothing but respect for her. I mean, again, just completely scamming men was like her aesthetic. And I just can't help but be in love with her every time I see her. I love her. I want to marry her. It's fine. Let's get some of these basic ass bitches out of the way. Like Danny Phantom. Like, obviously, me and everybody else in the world love Danny Phantom. I don't even think I need to explain why. I mean, he can walk through walls, disappear, and fly. He's much more unique than the other guys, okay? So, like, obviously, wasn't ready for Danny Phantom when he showed up on Nickelodeon, you know? I went to Nickelodeon. I thought it was kind of like a safe place for me. I didn't realize it was a thirst trap. And like the whole show was a thirst trap. Like I was going to have Sam on this list too, the original goth girlfriend, but I just like didn't want this to be a Danny Phantom list, you know, cuz I mean, we all loved them, you know, but I really was into Danny Phantom. Like I would think about him constantly and like would definitely write stories about him, and it's fine. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, I'm just going to put him in. I don't even know where to put this motherfucker. Honestly, LOL, because everybody loved him. Like, I stand by it because it was a trap laid for us. The whole show. Okay. And so, yeah, that's a thing. Speaking of Nickelodeon, but maybe a little bit less conventional, that would be Stoop Kid, if you were wondering. This is Stoop Kid. I feel like I am alone in this. I don't know. I feel like people like Stoop Kid, but they're not like they're not catching feelings for Stoop Kid like I was. But as you know, I just kind of latch on to people, and in fact am looking for it in every form of media because I just can't seem to survive without some kind of a romantic interest in every aspect of life. So I hadn't had one in Hey Arnold yet, and I think Stoop Kid spoke to me because he is a complex character, okay? He looks like he probably listens to metal, you know. I bet he like is the type of guy that like you can hang out with him and listen to like Meshuggah and like Korn and Iron Maiden. And he's also a sad boy. You know, I can't resist. He does have a unibrow, but it's fine. And a mullet also. That is a mullet you're looking at. But he's got like this, I don't know, his issues are so complex with the stoop and shit. I would have just sat with him on that stoop. I would have been like, when they were all like, stoop, kids afraid to leave a stoop, I would have rushed out of the crowd and I would have been like, shut up, everybody, like, leave him alone. And like, I would have rushed up to the stoop and been like, I'm gonna sit with you. Arnold, I'll take this one. And I would have taught him how to read and like been with him, because like, I wanted to save him. I wanted to help him heal. But he's also stoop kid. So I'm going to say, because I will be honest with you, I have kind of moved on from my feelings about stoop kid. Like, I think that I am not, I think I latched on, and we probably don't have as much in common. He's a little mean, a little too mean for me, I think. So I'm going to say oof, but at the time though, because who else in Hey Arnold was I supposed to latch onto, basically? Then we have, Kakashi. He's another pretty basic one. I mean, Kakashi. Kakashi is the perfect man. I'm convinced he is. Kakashi makes me feel safe always. Even when he is in over his head, I still know that like he's going to figure it out. He's like your friend. And I just, as a man, like as a future for me, Kakashi is perfect because I don't know. He's what a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty fine man. Like he is, he's so strong. He's so brave. I love the mask. I love the eye. I love the powers, but I love even more the heart, the soul, the fact that he loves romance novels, the fact that he is just a baby. He's baby. He is baby. I just love Kakashi so much. I will always love him. Every time I see him, my heart lights up. I'm still crushing on Kakashi now and always. This one right here might be a little confusing to you, the picture, but that is actually a frame from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, I think, 1 or 2. Some of my favorite games ever. Just my whole childhood, I was playing every single game, every single Tony Hawk Pro Skater that came out. Bought that shit immediately. I think that's the one for the GameCube, but either way, when I first got Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the first game, I saw, I was trying to pick my character, and as much as I love Tony Hawk and Rodney Mullen and all these skateboarders, I had actually never heard of Bucky Lasek until the game. But I saw him, and the first few games, the graphics are not great. I will show you a close up of that picture. But you kind of see this little picture of the guy, and it was love at first sight for me with Bucky Lasek. I don't know what it was, but I was drawn to this man. And every time I picked Bucky, I was always Bucky. He was my go-to. And he became my favorite skateboarder because I saw his image in this game and it felt like soulmates. It felt like he was my soulmate. At the time I didn't really have access to a computer or anything. So it took a while for me to actually be able to like look the guy up and like see him in real time skateboarding. So for the longest time, Bucky only existed to me in the game, but he was like this, I don't know, it was like we were star-crossed lovers. Like we couldn't truly be together, but like I always knew where to find him and I could connect with him by skateboarding as him. It was like this strange love across dimensions, and it was beautiful. So yeah, he really captivated me. And the funny thing about Bucky Lasek is I follow him now on Instagram, and he has a bunch of turtles and tortoises and reptiles and stuff. I felt something there. I saw something in him. Like we're not, like I've moved on. I wouldn't say I'm still crushing on Bucky Lasek, especially not Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 Bucky Lasek. But it was a big part of my life. I definitely would say I stand by it. And I think that I was right. I pinned him, because he's like a reptile animal guy. He's got like a bunch of tortoises again and stuff. And I'm like, I knew you, Bucky, even then, even through the game. I just saw that little picture of your face and somehow I knew. And it's just a beautiful thing. So I stand by that for sure. That was love, true love. I guess speaking of video game characters that I fell for, there's Leon Kennedy. Resident Evil 4 is like one of my favorite. All the Resident Evil games are just like, they mean the world to me. Leon has always been he's just like another safe place to run, You feel like you can just trust Leon with your life because he can, he will always save you. He's just a good guy. I knew I loved Leon for life forever when in Resident Evil 4, he's basically the whole time he's protecting, he's like has to go and save the president's daughter, Ashley. And I would say that she's really annoying, but, like, I would have been doing the same ass shit. Like, that's me when I'm playing the game. I'm screaming for Leon also. So I get it, Ashley, honestly. And so Ashley is, like, younger than him, right? And he's, like, this hot, like, amazing prodigy who just saved her from, like, 1,000 zombies, among other things. So much peril, so many obstacles that this bitch got herself caught up in. The La Plaga, like, it was really a big situation over there with that. And somehow, miraculously, she got saved by this one man. It's amazing that he was able to do everything that he did. And at the end, they're like on a jet ski and they're like leaving and they won. And Ashley, who is again portrayed as much younger than Leon, but Leon's still, he's like a strapping young man for sure. But he's older and he's in a position of power, And she asks him out. She's like, so when we get back home, what are you doing? And he's like, no thanks. Because he's a good man. He's a good man, He knows he's probably A, like completely and utterly so sick and tired of her. It's not even funny. But B, he is not the type of man who's going to abuse his position of power, and take advantage of this young girl. And that's how I knew that Leon is the love of my life. Every time I see Leon, my heart is aflutter. So I will definitely stand by that. Who's next? We got let's talk about Aragorn. Aragorn he's almost like too good. Like I feel like there should be a tier above. Maybe there should have been a tier above Still Crushing that was just Aragorn, because he is my king. He is my king. I mean, how the hell do you watch Lord of the Rings and not like want to just throw it all away for Aragorn? Like everything about Aragorn, he's just like this rogue, rugged man who like ran away even though he's the literal heir to the throne. He's supposed to be the king and he's in love with this elven woman. Even though all these other women are throwing themselves at him, he is willing to go the rest of his life forsaking love because he can't be with Arwen. I could go on and on. Aragorn is my king. He is my king. I will never, ever turn my back on him. Okay, so this is Robin Williams, if you were wondering. I used to just, everything he did, I was just in the palm of his hand, loved everything. Like when I was really little, like I think I might have started with Hook. I think it probably started with Hook. Or Jumanji. Both Hook and Jumanji, like who's watching those movies and not falling head over heels for him? When I was like a kid, like really young, like 6, 7, 8, 9, every time I saw him on TV, I was just like, I hope I find a man like that, And it just his stand up, everything about him. I would say I'm not like Still Crushing because I just like love him in a different way. It's definitely not romantic. Obviously, like when he died, I was like in denial, went through like the stages of grief. It was like a real serious situation. I miss him forever, love him, stand by it. I would say, yeah, like not crushing romantically on Robin Williams, haven't been for like since I went into double digit ages, but he was definitely a great love of my life. Another great love of my life, Li Shang. I mean, how do you watch Mulan and not like lose yourself in him? Like he's just a bi king first and foremost, and he's a sad boy. Yeah, when I first saw Mulan and I saw Li Shang, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a theme in my life. It's like, this is gonna be a problem for me, isn't it? Like men who act like this, who look like this, everything down to the man bun. Like this man was made to fuck up my life, honestly. Yeah, I'll always have a burning love for him. I'll never get over it. So yeah, still crushing, always gonna be crushing on him. Okay, I've avoided it long enough. He's just been staring at me, and I think it's gonna make me feel better, probably you. I'm sure you're confused. I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. That is Murray the Red Wiggle. And as you probably have figured out, I am a little older than someone who might have been able to get away with the fact that they were really young and they just didn't know better. But I have younger brothers who loved the Wiggles. And in my defense, the Wiggles are amazing, okay? Like, I would watch the Wiggles with them, and they were little, I was babysitting. The Wiggles have so many bops. I'm not even here to debate the fact that, like, fruit salad, driving in the big red car, Dorothy the Dinosaur song, like, I'm not ashamed of being a Wiggles fan. What I am ashamed of is how hard I went for Murray. For, like, a good 6 months, I was, like, 12 too, you guys. Old enough where this shouldn't have happened, but it did. And I don't really know why. I think honestly, it was just a combination. Like, he was, like, making my brothers laugh. He had an Australian accent. In my opinion, he was the most attractive out of all the Wiggles, and he was a guitar player. You know, I love a good guitarist, and he's a sweet guy. He's a sweet guy. All of that together led me down a dark path where I really loved Murray a lot. To the point where I was like, "Oh my god, guys, we should go see the Wiggles live." Like, the boys, the little babies, they would love it, and I will take them, like, with you, mom. Like, I'll go with you so that you don't have to go alone. Because I wanted to see Murray. And then one day I just woke up and I was like, "Wait a second. He's 45." And also Murray the Red Wiggle. And thankfully I was, it was a clean break. That was when I was it's nothing against Murray. He's a great guy. But I was planning on taking that to my grave and never telling anyone ever in my life. Here I am. I guess I gave up. I don't know. So yeah, let's remedy that with a good one like Zero from Vampire Night. So Zero, okay, first of all, if you've never watched Vampire Night, I don't know. I personally think it's a masterpiece. Others may not agree. I don't know. It's a mess, actually, now that I think about it. It's quite a mess, actually. But it was one of the first animes I ever watched, and I was really young. Like, I was like 11, you know. It was super young. And Zero, this character, this was passion. Like, passion I had never felt before because, oh, his arc, I'm getting the chills. Still to this day, Zero does it for me. Like, if I need to feel something, I'll just, like, it's on Netflix. I'll pop on one of the episodes where, like, Zero really does some, like, dark sad boy shit. Cuz talk about a sad boy. Basically, okay, so Vampire Night, long story short, is about this girl, and she, like, was saved by this vampire when she was little, and she just doesn't remember her past, and she, like, goes to live with this guy who adopted another kid because her parents died, and then, like, another kid's parents died, and so this guy raises her and Zero together, and they, like, live in the same house, and they're, like, old friends from childhood, and Zero hates vampires because they live in a world where vampires exist. And Yuki, who's the main girl, she has a crush on Kaname, who's the vampire who saved her, and he's really hot, but he's problematic, honestly. But she has a huge crush on Kaname, and they go to this school where vampires go during the night, and then regular kids go during the day. And so they have to, like, interact with them. And the vampires are all, like, really well behaved, and they're all really hot because it's like vampires are always good looking. And everyone loves them, and Zero hates vampires, okay? He hates them because they killed his family. So Zero hates vampires. He wants to kill them. He's a vampire killer, and then he gets turned into a vampire. He gets turned into a vampire, y'all. So he is going through, like, this crisis, this struggle where he has become the very thing he hates, and he is struggling with that because he hates vampires. And, like, there's this one scene where Yuki lets him drink her blood, and I'm, like, telling you when I was not ready for that at 11. This is why I am the way I am, is because of Zero. But he's such a sad boy. He's a sad boy king still to this day, forever. I don't care how cheesy the shit is. I love Zero forever. I would die for him. Death Note is another one of the first animes I ever watched in my life. And L, obviously, y'all know I love a boy who is a damn mess, but he's smart and he's awkward as fuck and weird and doesn't really know how to interact with people. L is my bag. I love him so much. I just love it. I'm not going to spoil any of it, but it's because if you've never seen Death Note, just watch it. Like with Vampire Night, all that stuff that I told you happens in, like, the first episode, so I'm not spoiling anything. L, he's an entire journey, and you need to watch Death Note if you haven't already, but he's my baby. However, I would say that as time goes on, he's become, like, he's not, I don't know. I don't love him the way I used to. Like, I mean, it used to be with me and Al, like fanfic.net all day, every day, 24/7. Not anymore, I would say. I would say stand by it because I will always stand by Al forever to my grave. But it's just, I don't know. He's been in my life for so long. And I just feel like he's just my old friend, that I love so much and that we've just been through a lot together and I love him so much. So let's talk a little bit about Timothy Frisbee, from the Rats of Nim to Timothy to the Rescue. Is that what it's called? I don't even remember. I got like a flashing memory of this movie as I was sitting down to think about all of the like weird childhood crushes I had, and I did not watch it, and I have not watched it since I was like 8. But if you've never seen, so it's a book, is that what it's called? The Rats of Nim? Escape from Nim? I don't even know. The Rats of Nim. I think it's Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. Is that what it's called? That's the first one. It's a movie too. And that's a great movie. But then there's a second one, and I'm pretty sure the second one is bad. I'm pretty sure. I would just assume that the second one is actually so bad because the first one's good, but then they make a sequel and it's bad. But it's about Timothy, and he's the little boy in the first one who's dying and making everything hard for everyone. And Mrs. Frisbee's got to go do the whole adventure to save him. And so he's the one who's dying, but he grows up and he has a side bang and he saves everybody. And he's like this cool teenager. So when I'm 8 watching this, I become in love with him. Obviously, he's got a side bang. I stood no chance. I'm thinking about it now, and I'm 100% sure actually that it's a cringy movie. Yeah, but he's got a side bang and he's cute and he's a hero, okay? And for that reason, oof. But at the time though, because I was 8, and when you're 8, I think that you're supposed to love cringy shit. However, a movie that I loved when I was 8 that wasn't cringy is Cats Don't Dance. There's Sawyer right there. Let's talk about her. If you have never seen Cats Don't Dance, I implore you to watch it. I don't know what else to say. Cats Don't Dance is an absolute gem. And it's like not everybody's seen it and it blows my mind. It really does. Like I felt like growing up that it was just a classic. Like everybody had seen that movie. Like me and my brother again watched that movie like constantly and like acted everything out and like did all the songs. And that movie to me is not cringy. Like I think it's good. I'm pretty sure it's good. It's been a long time since I watched it, but I feel like it's really good. And Sawyer the cat is my dream girl. Like she is such a baddie. She's like just a no nonsense bitch. Like honestly, Danny, the main character, Cat, he's a sweetheart, I guess. He's just a dreamer, but he's kind of like very annoying. He's just an annoying man who like takes up man space that like and he gets in her face and he's just he's like embarrassing himself constantly, embarrassing her. And she is like doesn't put up with it. She's like, "Can you fucking stop? Can you chill out, please? Because you're really embarrassing people." She's just a bad bitch. Like, she's a bomb ass singer. She's amazing. I love her. And I've always been taken by her. I don't think I'll ever be able to see her and not catch those feelings. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm running out of space because I still love all of these people. I believe it or not, I actually did not expect that. I thought that I had grown up and like matured, but apparently not. Okay, let's try to do one that's not gonna be there. I don't know. Who's not gonna be there? Knuckles. Let's talk about Knuckles. I am not trying to get wrapped up in the Sonic community, but I'm not gonna lie to you and just leave out my infatuation with Knuckles. And I will say that like this goes back to because I am old. I'm an elderly person. Therefore, I had a Sega Genesis, and I wasn't. The Sonic games had already been out. I think when I started playing them, they had been out for a little while because they came out when I was like born. But I had the first Sonic game and I played it, and then I had and then I got the second Sonic game, and I was like, oh wow, Tails is introduced, cool. But then Sonic 3 came out. I don't know, I guess I just wasn't I don't know, I just Knuckles is just, like wasn't ready for that, like, he's just so cool, and he's bad. He's kinda bad, he's like a bad boy, he's bad to you, and I guess I like that because I am damaged, I'm toxic, I don't know, and he's just not nice, but he's like a character, and I think that, he's an echidna, so he's like a monotrem, which is amazing. Like, echidnas are real animals, and they never get representation in anything. And then he does have, like those are, like, his echidna spines, but it looks like long hair, and I love long hair boys. So, what was I supposed to do? He's a bad boy with long hair, and he's an echidna. So, I was doomed. Knuckles has always been my favorite character. It actually makes me physically sick to see what Knuckles has become. I don't subscribe to any of that, the new shit. I wouldn't say that I have a romantic anything for Knuckles now. He's a bad boy that I love. Oh yeah, he's perfect for this category. This is perfect. Let's see here. I think we should talk about Kovu. Let's just get Kovu out of the way. Obviously. I mean, if I'm gonna love Spirit and like Dodger and fucking Mewtwo, you know that Kovu fucked me up forever. I mean, what were we supposed to do? They left us no choice. They made Kovu hot. They made him hot. They made him hotter than we could have ever anticipated. Honestly, he's so hot. He's a lion. That's illegal. It is. It's technically against the law, but he somehow ended up that way. It's a very visceral memory. Like remembering specifically him growing up and sitting there and his mother, his crazy ass mother, Xena, is that her name? Zara, Xena, what the fuck is her name? And she's pumped. She's like, "Aren't you gonna kill Simba?" And he's like, "Yes." And I'm like, what? And he's got like emo hair. He's a lion. He's not supposed to have emo hair. What? So yeah, I just never stood a chance ever. Yep. He's the one. He's the one, Kiara. Lock him down, girl. I would say definitely at the time because he is a lion for sure. And I do not have romantic feelings for lions, nor do I have romantic feelings for half wolf, half huskies. But there's Balto because, again, I mean, these are level 1 animals that we love, you know? So I feel uncomfortable, but better than these are all level 1. I think, I mean, come on, you had a crush on Balto, and if you didn't, yes, you did. Come on, Balto, what a guy. Like that the first movie's so good, and Balto, he is so cool in that movie. He's just so cool. Like when he helps in the race and stuff, and he's talking to Jenna, and he's just like so cool, and everyone treats him like shit. All the townsfolk, the other dogs, as if they could even. Balto's half wolf, sweetie. He could rock your world. He could rock your shit, Steel. Honey, Balto's half wolf. Y'all are making fun of him for being half wolf. I don't even get it. I really don't. It was toxic, fragile masculinity, and Balto was so above that. He was so secure in his masculinity, even though he was insecure about being half wolf. That scene where he's like out there, he's like trying to get the medicine and stuff, and like that wolf finds him. I think it's his mom or something, right? Like the white wolf, and they like howl together, and he like embraces the wolf part of himself. And that duck that I really don't like the character, but he says the one good thing in the movie. I still remember this. He says, "A dog cannot make this journey, but a wolf can," or something like that. And then like he remembers that and he like howls. Balto, you didn't give us even a single you didn't even give us a chance to run, buddy. Okay, and he is a dog, so he's going in this section, but make no mistake, I'm not ashamed of loving Balto and being 9 years old and going on Balto chat rooms to talk to other fellow Balto fans, okay? I'm just not ashamed. I'm not going to apologize for that. Nor am I going to apologize for being in love with 2D from the Gorillas so fervently that when I was, and it was like at a weird age where I had just discovered Clint Eastwood, the song, and I watched the music video, and I would just watch it like over and over and over constantly. And my mom didn't like the song, and she wouldn't let me listen to it because they say I'm useless, and she didn't like that. She's like, "That is terrible. No one's useless. I don't want you listening to this. It's so negative." And I'm like, okay. I had to put my headphones on, but I would just like watch that video, and I was just like, I like him. He's like in a band, you know? Love 2D so much. I love him about as much as this, I would say. Yeah, because I still love the Gorillas and stuff, but I'm not like interested anymore. Like I'm over it. Let's talk about Ryan Ross. Here he is. This is as far as the spectrum goes because I loved Ryan Ross from Panic at the Disco so deeply. Until I don't think I let go truly until I was like 18. Like honestly, like I loved him from when I was like 13 until I was like 18. And there was a good few years of my life where I truly believed I was gonna marry him. Like, and I'm not kidding. I know that I joke around a lot. I really, really, really did think that I was gonna make it work because 'cause I'm a crafty bitch. Like, I really thought I was gonna make it work. I had a plan, I was, like, gonna get really hot after high school, and then I was gonna go and, like, just try to throw myself into his life in some way. I was gonna move to Las Vegas where he lived and just try to bump into him, and he was gonna discover that I am the girl of his dreams, and we were gonna fall in love. Like, there was just no other option for me. I was like, "If I don't make this work, I mean, then what's the point?" Because I love him. I loved him. I loved his soul. I thought I understood him because I read his lyrics. It's just the first love of your life that you really are like, "I don't know if I can do life without this man as my husband," even though he is a, like, celebrity, and I don't think and, like, I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know where, but I'm gonna make this work. And, like, spoiler alert, it didn't work out, but I found a guitarist who's kind of shy and awkward, and he's better than Ryan Ross, in my opinion. I will always stand by Ryan Ross, but I am over it. I can't believe I can stand here today and tell you that I'm over the fact that I didn't end up marrying Ryan Ross, but I am over it, and I wish him nothing but the best. I really do. I had to move my screen down here because I can't be trusted not to be in love with all of my childhood crushes still. I really did think that it was gonna, not be like this, but I'm a simp. Second thing is that the sun came up because I actually didn't sleep, and you know my secret now. Like, I just realized, like, "Oh my god, I bet they could notice." I bet they noticed that, like, the sun had just came up because it was nighttime and now it's the day. Like, how am I gonna readjust to society? Who knows? Stay tuned. So, yeah, the sun's gonna be in my face a little. It's fine. Who's next? Let's do the Poke Boys next. So, Gary Oak. You guys know my type by now. I mean, he's so bad. He's, like, so rude. He's a piece of shit, but I loved him. I always loved him. From the first episode, I actually have a distinct memory of watching the first episode of Pokemon, like, when it aired. That's how old I am. I'm that old. It just seemed like, Ash is just such a little dweeb, like and then Gary Oak, like, he knew what he wanted. He went and took it every single time. He really did, and he knew his worth. He's very confident. He's such a jackass. He's a piece of shit for sure. But he also, in my opinion, I think he always had great taste in Pokemon too. He's like an Eevee guy. I'm an Eevee girl for sure. I mean, it's basic, but you know what? What beats an Eevee? You can have everything you want in one Pokemon. I'm sorry, but, like, I think everybody would take an Eevee if they had the chance. And I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't know what it is. I've just never been a fan of Pikachu, ever. I just don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like I think I just think he's overhyped. I don't know what it is. I just don't really like Pikachu that much. I love Raichu though. It's weird. Anyway, and I think Gary has an Arcanine too, so I just always liked him, and as the years went on, I think Gary really matured and, he became a scientist too. So yeah, I love him. I stand by Gary Oak. Always. I support Gary Oak. There's Lance. Lance is a little bit of a controversial figure in the Pokemon world. He really is. Lance is an Elite Four opponent, but I think he's like the leader of the Elite Four. He's like young and like hot and like self assured and confident and like serious. He's a dragon trainer. Yeah. I know he's, again, a little bit of a controversial figure because, like, he does some questionable things. Like, yeah, he has 3 Dragonites that are all level 47, even though they don't evolve from Dragonair to Dragonite until level 55. Not really sure if he's, like, artificially, like, making his Pokemon evolve. So I don't really know how he pulled that one off. And yeah, his Aerodactyl knows Rock Slide, even though that's not a move that they can know. So a lot of people think he's cheating or like whatever, but he wears a cape, okay? He knows what he's doing. He's a winner. Y'all are jealous. I have always loved Lance. Lance has always fucked me up. I stand by Lance. I don't care what anybody says. I really do. Okay, Shigo obviously ruined my life, as she does with everyone else's life. She's bad. She's evil. She's not nice to Kim Possible. Kim Possible's my girl. And yet I found myself rooting for Shigo a lot more than I care to admit because she's a baddie and I stand by her. I don't care. Last but not least, KK Slider. Y'all already know. I got Animal Crossing when I was really young, sat down in my beanbag chair, and then this dog is just there and it's a black screen and he's got the spotlight on him and he's just strumming the guitar and he was also strumming my heart. Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words. This boy's been killing me softly since 2001. You know I love KK, and KK is a dog, but when it comes to Animal Crossing, especially KK, I mean, obviously still crushing forever. I don't even care. I will always love you, KK. I mean, yeah, he just does something to me. He's not wearing clothes, and everybody else in Animal Crossing is, and it is weird, but it's not because it's KK. He can do whatever he wants. He could do whatever he wants. He could wreck my life, and I wouldn't even bat an eyelash. He could wreck my life. He has on multiple occasions, and I just don't even care. I let him do it. And it is 8 o'clock a.m. So yeah, that's my list and my psyche. I am not okay. And I hope that this list has illustrated that in many ways. I thank you all for coming on this journey with me. And I really honestly encourage you to let me know what your cringy, embarrassing, questionable childhood crushes are as well so that I don't feel so alone in this. I love you all, and I will see you in the next one.